guys, welcome to another hip creative tutorial. This time I'll be showing you how to knit a super chunky hat. It's very easy to do. It's actually for beginners. So I'm going to be using this yarn. I got the information here. This is the brand. It's a super bulky yarn, number 6. And it's 80% wool and 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And we're going to be using 2 different circular needle size. The first one that we're going to be using is US 10.5. Also, you'll need 1 sewing needle. It has to be a big one because this yarn is very thick. And stitch markers. To start, I'm going to be using this one. It's a little bit smaller. It is the perfect size for this needle. But then once I change to the bigger ones, this one, it doesn't fit. So I created this one from the same yarn that I'm using. So if you can use a different color. I didn't have a different color available now, so I just created one from the one I have. So to start, we're going to cast on 42 stitches. And to do that, I'm going to do the cast on with the long tail method. So what you have to do is you get your yarn, and then you're going to leave a long tail. More or less here. And then this is your tail. You're going to cross it over the other one, and then you're going to grab the other one. This is your tail, just to make a knot. Now I'm going to insert my needle. This is my tail. I'm going to wrap it around my thumb and the other one around my index, and I'm going to do this. So now I'm going to go under, over, and through. One more time, under, over, and through. Now I have 3 stitches on my needle. Under, over, through. Under, over, through. Now once you do the through, when you tie it here, try not to do it too tight because this will be the edge of your hat and you don't want this to be too tight. So do it when you tie it here, leave it a little bit loose. And always try to use the same tension just so you don't have a big stitch here and then smaller one. So just always try to use the same tension here just a little bit. And now keep doing this until you have 42 stitches. Alright, I'm done casting on all of my stitches. I got 42. And it's time to join the round. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, this wire is too big for this project, but we can make it work. We have to make sure that all this braided part is inside the circle. There cannot be a twist. If you have something like this, like a twist, just fix it. Everything has to be straight, all the braided part inside. Now, we're going to divide our stitches more or less in half, and we're going to start pulling the wire. So just like this. Now we can start working. Always making sure that there are no twists anywhere. See, everything looks straight. So now I put my stitch marker, and now you have to take your tail and put it aside. And we're going to start our work. So now we're going to do a net one and purl one. To do a net one with our yarn on this side, we go in, we wrap the yarn, and we pull it through. Now we're going to make a purl. We put our yarn in the front, we go in like this, wrap the yarn, put it through. Now we have to make a net one with our yarn on this side, go in, pull through, yarn in the front. Now we're going to make a purl. And just like this, you're going to continue doing a net one and a purl one until you reach this marker. That's how we know that we have completed one full row, is when we get to the marker. Because otherwise, you wouldn't be able to tell. Well, we have this tail over here, so here you know that you started, but when your project gets big, it's difficult. So now I just want to show you what to do when you run out of stitches. On the left needle, just really quick. Alright, so once you start running out here of the stitches, you're just going to do this. Part your stitches again, and pull. Just continue using this technique if you have this problem that the wire is too long. Otherwise, you shouldn't have a problem. Alright, I'll see you at the end of this row. Okay, now I only have one stitch left before my marker. Sorry. So this last one is purl. And then you notice here we have this gap. This won't be a problem. Now we're going to slip our marker. And we started by doing a net one, purl one. So I'm going to net one, purl one, you can pull your tail a little bit, and then you will see there is no more gap anymore. And that's it. So now just continue doing this until you have 1.5 inches for the base of the hat. So this what we're doing right now is the base. So once your project have grown 1.5 inches, I will just join me to show you what's next. Right, so now I think I have the 1.5, and yes I do. Now it's time to change the needles. Now to change our needles, I'm going to grab my new pair, place the stitch marker, and I'm going to leave the right needle hanging here. Try to get it out of the way. And then I'll start my round. Okay. So now from this row we are going to net everything. We're not going to continue doing the net one, purl one. It will be just net everything. This first row with the new needle size will be a little bit difficult, but It is just for this first row. Right. Now by doing this, all the stitches at the end of this row will be on the new size, on the new needles. Alright, so just continue doing this until you have reached the very last stitch. And here's a stitch marker, don't forget about it. So I just have one stitch left to finish this row, and you don't have to do that, that was just, I had the stitch wrong. So here, this was the first one that we were using, now it's free, we put it aside, and now we start using the new needles. Let me put this in place. This one, it also has, the wire is too big for this project. So I just divide my stitches, put a few on the left needle. So now once again, place my marker, and then I just start knitting all the rows until you have reached 6 inches. And then we'll start decreasing. And I'll show you how to do that. We do that by knitting 2 together. But don't worry about it now, just start knitting until you have 6 inches. If you count the base, it's 7.5. Alright, so once you have the 6 inches, we're going to start decreasing. Yeah, we'll do, alright, good enough. Now we're gonna start decreasing, and this is very simple. All you have to do alright, I'll finish this last stitch for this row, slip my marker, and then I'm going to knit 2, and then I'm going to knit 2 together. So I'll get these 2 stitches right here. I'm gonna go through both, and I'm going to knit them together. This is how it should look. Now what we just did there, we just decreased 1 stitch. So now we knit 2, and we repeat the knit 2 together. Next 2, go in as if to knit. You can see here the 2 stitches. Alright, and now I have 1, so we decrease 1 stitch. Then we knit 2, gonna do it one more time. We go through both stitches at the same time, and we knit them together. Now just keep repeating this until you reach the marker. So you do 2 and 2 together. Alright, so I just did my knit 2 together, and I knit the last 2 before the stitch marker. So now I'm going to slip my stitch marker, and this next round we're just going to knit across. all these stitches, just so we don't decrease too rapidly. This second row will be all just net. Just meet me at the end so we can do another row of decrease. Now for the following row, we are going to slip our marker, and then we're going to net 1 and net 2 together. Net 1, then net 2 together. This is what we have to do for this row. Right. I'll see you at the end of the row. Right now we are left with one stitch that we cannot knit 2 together, so we're just going to knit the very last stitch, and then this following row we're going to knit across, and then the next one we're going to decrease again. Alright, so I'll see you at the end of this row. Right now, the following row we're going to knit 2 together all around. Now this is starting to get a little bit tight because we have less and less stitches, and so I think we might be done with this row. This will be the last row, I think. You just play with it a little, just play with the stitches. Leave less needles on the right, less stitches on the right needle than on the left, just to be able to finish. You see, I left 2, left this over here, and a little bit in the middle, the other was on the left. Right, I'm gonna knit 2 together. Because if you want to do this up to you have like very little amount of stitches, you should have to use the double pointing needles. And then I'm almost done. And then 1 and 2. So now I think I might still be able to work. This following row, it's knit 2 together all around, just like the one we did. Slipper stitches. You see, I have little hole only. So we are trying to close this hole over here as much as possible. So you have to knit 2, knit 2, and then where is it? Okay, here's my marker. So I have only 3 left. So I'm gonna try and transfer these over. Okay, almost done. It's a little bit of work, but it works if you don't have double pointing needles, which I guess most of you won't have. Okay, now we need these 2, and now the last 2, and we are almost done. Alright, so we're going to knit the last 2 together. Oh, actually I have one more left. It's right here. It was hiding. Okay, so this one we're just going to knit it. Let's see, I think this is, yeah, the last one. Just going to knit the last one. All right, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 stitches on the needle. And what we're going to do, it's time now to get our sewing needles and the scissors. So now we're going to cut, leaving a little piece like this, right? Like about 7 inches. And now we're going to get our sewing needle. Going to insert this here. And now we're gonna go this here in between the stitches. Like this. And now we are going to, this will be difficult, but it is not impossible. We have to remove this needle. Done. Now this one, we're going to put it here. We're going to turn this upside down like this. We're going to pull. This is how it should look on the right side, which is the right that goes outside. I'm gonna pull all those stitches in. And we're going to leave this one hanging. We're not going to do anything with it because, well, if we want to add the pom-pom here at the end, we're going to do it with this same thread that we have here. So I'm going to leave this one like this. I won't do anything else. And now just go to the video if you want to learn how to do the pom-pom, and then we're going to attach it back here. Alright, just we have to do the pom-pom and attach it, and then we'll be finally done. This is how it should look. Oh, this one, I can do this right now, just as a final touch, because we don't want to leave this one hanging there. So you just thread your needle and just to start going in between the stitches. Nothing too fancy or difficult. I think it's good enough. I'm actually going to do this. Alright. And that's it.